All right. Hello. Hello, hello. Sorry. Sorry for the delay. I had to get some water and had a meeting. Yes. Anyway, hope you had a great day thus far. Let me turn down the music slightly. Like this, maybe. And also quickly check the audio. All right. We are good to go as best as I currently manage. Anyway, I forgot what we were doing. I think I was mostly despairing at the fact that I can't draw. I took it too seriously, you know. I want to get back to being a bit more aloof about this whole process, taking it as it, presents itself, whatever form that may be. My skill, I mean, in that sense, in that context. Whatever. It's a difficult subject, art in general, And so it is only natural. It is only natural that I fail. We can still keep trying though, so let me see. Week 2 and 3. Let me see. So week 2 and 3. Is this what I mean? I don't think so. I don't think so. Nope, no saving. Practice week 3, maybe? There's nothing in practice week 3. Damn. What about... Yeah, there's nothing. Why did I write down line quality like in week 2 plus 3? I don't think I meant literally week 2 plus 3 like the file, because that looked very wrong. Let me see, open recent, week 2 plus 3. I don't think it's this. Oh, right. I think I meant the curtains here. Okay. I think I had a little bit of an obsession here. Oh well. No, I don't want to save, thank you. Anyway. Not too certain about it. Anyway, let's just draw whatever. I just want to have fun today. I just want to have fun, man. I just want to have fun. And this isn't fun. This is dog shit. So, we'll go in and erase this. Be gone. Be gone. Alright. Let's eliminate this. I don't know what I'm doing here with this construction, but I can just get rid of it too. There's something here. Okay, now it's an empty layer. All right. Cannot transform empty layer. I just want to draw mechs, right? So I'll just redraw a mech that I think looks nice. That's what we're going to do today. And I have an image in mind, and I actually used that one before when I was still just and only drawing on paper. Actually, maybe let me make myself a bit more quiet here. Or rather, the music, so it's not blasting my ears off. I think this might be fine. No, I don't want to go into games. Thank you. Projects, art, please. Drawings, reference. Okay, so where would it be? Machines, perhaps? Mechs. Right, there it is. Found it. Found it. Let's see as a reference image. Right, so we have Eva, Skok, Shk, Eva 01. Right. Interesting. I guess I should have used the landscape format for this one. I wonder if I can flip that. I think I tried that, right? I tried that before, I believe. Flatten image, move layer, isolate, active layer, no. Let's see. Transform tool. Canvas settings in the file menu. File. That's a lie. Document information, perhaps? Yeah, that's a big fat lie. Okay. They don't seem to understand what I want to do. Oh well. Look at these. Obviously, that doesn't do what I want it to. Nope. Yeah, I can switch it. I don't know, huh? Eva 01. Right? EVA. EVA. Yeah, I had the same issue before, didn't I? And this is a bit too large of an image. I feel like, you know? Hmm. 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 Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Actually, let me move it up a bit here so that I can zoom up until this point and then just, move up and down whenever I need to look at the reference. Okay, let's switch. All right, so whoops, there we go. Okay, so I think putting down the horizon line would help here first, because it's also pretty obvious where it is, right? Vanishing points not so much, because I think if we are looking at the image like so, some of the vanishing points I believe would be outside the current frame, so whatever, that might be a difficulty. So roughly around this height, maybe? Yeah. Okay, this is a bit... This is too much. Like so, maybe? I kind of want to just train making straighter lines a little bit here. So do forgive the process. The repetition here. I just want to observe what my arm is doing here. Okay. Like I want to develop a little bit of a feeling here. This is pretty good. Not perfect, but damn good. I just want to feel my own, arm moving around here. I want to see the end product of these movements clearly right now. Maybe a bit slower. It's a little bit of a bend in this. It's kind of funny how it still wobbles this much, despite everything. Maybe that's what stabilization would potentially eliminate here a little bit. It could certainly help. Though I have no idea how to use it, so... Let me see. So this is stabilization, I believe, right? Brush smoothing stabilizer. It's turned on. Yes. I wonder to what extent it's turned on. Because if you look, it still does the bending thing here. But I feel like there isn't as much jitter in the line. Is that all that stabilization does? reduce the jitter, perhaps? Because if you look right here and right here, there's like a little bit of wobbling that goes up and down very slightly. You know? All the way up until here. And here. Feels like it's lagging when I'm using this. Is there like an option to adjust the stabilization? I mean, there has to be, right? But let's not. I don't want to go into that right now. Not interested at this point in time. This might be slightly too little. Whoops. Interestingly enough, stabilization is throwing me off a bit now. Because of how like delayed the reaction is to my pulling of the pen. So it kind of like is worse than before. Yeah, let me just turn it off. Let me just turn it off. Something like this. Hmm. Alright, let me drink something. Alright. Now we should probably determine where the figure is standing, right? And it's doing this like triangle pose here. So let's see. I would say something like this. Pretty much. Actually a bit further, yeah. Further. So like it's more like so. Just in terms of placement of the limbs here. Right. I don't know if this is a helpful approach, but I just want to have fun. I just want to draw things that look interesting to me, you know? Alright, now we would probably want to determine roughly the height of the creature, the head height of the creature. I mean, I guess it makes sense that a lot of, or rather, pretty much all of the mangakas, right, in Japan have a teacher, a sensei, that they basically do the inking for, usually, I think, right? Or like some like chores in a sense in the context of art, right? So like drawing repetitive poses, maybe putting down some construction lines, whatever, so that the actual author can do the quote finished sketch, and then it's given back to the student or the assistant rather to then ink and whatever, right? I mean, it's not too much different. I just want to say it for my own like sake, I guess. I think I talked about this before. Like I have this weird rejection of wanting to of just like drawing from reference, which makes no sense at all. It's stupid. It's, I think, a wrong sense of pride, if anything. You know? Now I actually. I just wanna the raw, interesting things, honestly. That's all I wanna do. If that means having to copy someone else's art because I'm too stupid to draw it, I'll copy it for all of eternity if I must, if that means I'm getting better. Okay, I can tell what I'm doing wrong here. I'm drawing this a bit too large. Like I have to remember that I can't just take this one-to-one. No, I have to make this smaller since my my canvas size doesn't align perfectly with this one. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe I should start with the back leg, because I always run into issues here. Where's my... There it is. Alright. It's always difficult to see my cursor. Let me look at this a bit. Okay, I see. Hmm. 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 Maybe I should start with... No, this is... I'm drawing the initial proportions way too large. Like the feet are too large, the hips are too large. Maybe it's because I'm zoomed out too far. Realize that this is your canvas. You have to bring everything into it. So let's start with some non-aggressive ways to describe the forms here. I mean, it's basically just this anyway, right? Maybe a bit more of that. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know about this. Let's leave this here for now. I think back here. Let me see. Yeah, it's pretty much not visible. Like the other elbow is probably somewhere back here, right? So let's look at the arm, or the hand rather. Would this work? Kind of, but also not really. Also, the body is a bit too high up. Like this whole section here. If we move this a bit further down, I think we might be better off here. All right, I haven't done this in a while, so please bear with me. And let me just get my carpets here and see if they can still be of use. All right, so carpet number 1. All right. There we go. I think it still works relatively well. This might be a bit too high up. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Maybe it works. pretty early though. His spear basically splits into two parts, yes? Isn't that like Longinus' spear or something? Spear of Longinus? Not too certain about it, so do not take my word for it. But I believe it to be the case. Okay, let's just try and remain loose here. You know? Hmm. Sorry. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I see. It's less generic than that, I guess. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not too certain about my approach again. But at least I really like the subject that I'm drawing. Maybe that's the reason why all of the great artists of old had like a muse. Is that the right word? Like an exclusive model for them, or someone who truly interests them or inspires them. If I'm understanding the word correctly, like yeah, essentially that. Kind of makes sense. I feel like maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just coming up with excuses as to why my art looks dog shit. Maybe, maybe not. Hmm. Yeah, that leg is definitely a bit too far out front. No question about it. Maybe this would work. And also making it a bit smaller. In the same breath, though, perhaps I should consider making this slightly larger. And perhaps moving all of this a bit further front makes sense. Also this. Don't think I'll get around simply just by turning this in some way. I think I'll have to redraw it because there's some information here that is inhibiting my ability to present this in a three-dimensional way, I think. Mm, I don't know about it, huh? Maybe since this is further back, or rather away from the camera, right? Maybe I should try and only making these things here a bit larger. I don't know, the leg is still looking weird, or the foot rather, which obviously influences the look of the leg as a whole. Maybe a different approach. What about having a look first? Okay, this is more like a suggestion than anything else. So I might just draw it however I feel like it, no? Hmm. Okay, this is even worse. I don't know. Ooh, I'm failing at the foot. How could I do this? How could I possibly do this? Hmm. Maybe like so. I mean, being simple about it is actually what I want to do anyway. But it still has to fit the overall look of the mech for obvious reasons, right? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe like this. Whoops. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Also, I kind of feel like I should do something like this. Okay. Wait, let me see this actually. Okay. This is looking only very roughly like this reference image, but mm, actually, let me not do this like so. Hmm. Yeah, let's leave it like this for now. Let me grab this too. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So let's leave the horizon line roughly around here. I feel like the angle isn't quite right with this. Yeah. The tip of these two like fork shapes, or like of this fork essentially, is slightly more turned, a bit more angled than that. Okay. Actually, let me move the construction layer on top. There we go. There was like some, I don't know, line somewhere. I mean, in a sense, I might be able to just. Should I try and paint this? a little bit, maybe. Oh, I also forgot an important part of the head here, I think. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not too sure about how to make these teeth look right. To make them look like anything other than just cartoonish. I want to make them look, deadly and like fearsome. I kind of can't. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. I don't know. This might be a limitation I'm putting on myself here with the type of brush I'm using, I think. It might simply just not be possible with it. Hmm. Okay, it's more like an almond shape. Alright. And it's a lot smaller than I thought it is. I just only found out today, interestingly enough, that what's it called? Tokope's original sin, like the small um, octopus alien thing was animated quite a while back, apparently, like last year in summer. I didn't even notice. Like I read the manga like maybe 2 years ago. Don't quite remember. I might be wrong about this, so you know, don't take it too serious. Just a while back, that's all I know. Long before the animation. I'm fairly certain about that, at least. I think I'm fairly certain about that. I don't know. Is that light supposed to be a sword now? Right? This is just like some sort of weird antenna thing, no? I would assume. Hmm. Do I have anything else here? Oh well, whatever. Let's just clean up the sketch as best as we can and see where we end up. Maybe after that, I'll try going in with a like, paintbrush or something. We'll see. It doesn't have to be too correct here. It's fine, you know? Huh. I really hate this brush sometimes. I think I said that before about another brush, right? Hmm. Hmm. All right. It's not horrible, I don't think. Hmm. Hmm. Something's smelling funny here. Might have to close the window. I don't know. A bit irritating. Hmm. Sorry, I haven't been very talkative today because I'm kind of trying to figure out when in which way I'm enjoying drawing more, you know, by blocking out everything, or like in a different way, I guess you could say. I haven't quite figured that one out yet, so please do forgive me. Though honestly, I'm erring like kind of like towards blocking out. Like I'm sure I could draw better in a way. If I would listen to something like, I don't know, um, uh, what's it called? Hail to the King, for example, on full blast. Like that doesn't bother me at all. I've done it quite a few times actually. So, okay, so this is actually a bit longer than that, huh? I've gone through all the trouble of finding new brushes just to then go back to my old ones. Kind of funny how that worked. Kind of funny how that worked. Hmm. I don't know about this, huh? It's very difficult to make out anything here. This is just amazing. It's just amazing. Like this dude is just that's the kind of skill I want. Is all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Well, I do have to say portions don't quite feel right here. You know? I kind of like drew him sabatons instead of just like some sort of shoe. Terrible. Terrible. What? How's it? How's it drawn? Right. Okay. Similar, but hmm. Similar, but with a difference. Similar yet different. Hmm. Not too sure about what to do with the fingers. Hmm. Mm. Oh, okay. So it's facing towards us, actually. Let me try and see if I can fix that a bit. So, actually, let's go down a layer, erase some of that. Let's see. So, how to draw the index finger here? Let's see if we can do something with this. Hmm. Hmm. No, this is not. It's not what I want. It's not the look I want to go for. Hmm. Okay, let's think about the pinky finger here. Think about where we want to have it placed. Hmm. Hmm. No. Adding a bend in here kind of doesn't work. No. It's a terrible, terrible hand. Maybe I'll come back to it later at some point. We'll see. Just wanted to give like better impression of what it's doing, although it's a bit too large, honestly. Too large. Maybe like so. Hmm. Okay, I see. Hmm. Wait, was it? What is it looking like? All right. It's more so like this. Type of cone shape here. I think. Hmm. Kind of, but not quite. Better. Hmm. Everything looks a bit more compressed here, and yet the head is still too large, essentially. Yeah, that kind of looks better. There we go. All right. Let's keep in mind the overlap here. It doesn't quite work, but I mean, honestly, it's good enough. Could have been a lot worse, honestly. 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 It's just not at all the type of art style I want to go for, honestly. Why am I saying honestly so many times right now? Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, no clue. But this is not the art style I want to go for. But that's a limitation of my brushes, honestly. Honestly, that's honestly a limitation of my brushes, if I'm being honest. You know? That's honestly a limitation of my brushes. Hmm. Know how to do this. Ouch. Ow. Hmm. 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 Ugh, it's horrible. It's horrible looking, but that's okay. Let me just drink something here. I'll be right back. All right. Alright, I have returned. Ugh, horrible, 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 horrible. This looks so bad. I don't even know where to go. Who do I complain to? This hardly looks like a fist. And this also hardly looks like... Oh, it kind of looks like a gorilla. Okay, so... I think... we should try and... make this whole arm a bit smaller. But just enough. Like so, maybe? I feel like this already looks a lot better. Now the issue still remains, whoops. In here, with the foot, because I just can't seem to make it work, you know? Not really, at least. Which sucks, you know? Maybe this works? Not really. Like the plane of contact doesn't work, if you could call it that. Maybe if I did something like this. Maybe like so. Perhaps, perchance, potentially. Not too certain about this, honestly. Hmm. Definitely feeling like my eyes like hurting in an unusual way. Never like it had hurt before. It's like as if I'm not blinking enough, kind of. Just weird. But well, it is what it is. This doesn't look absolutely terrible, I don't think. Hmm. No, we don't really need this. Actually, I should at least put in the horizon line here, no? I still need some guidelines. Well, could be better. Could be worse. Hmm. Although this is not exactly his spear. Hmm. At least it kind of looks interesting. Uh-huh. Hmm. Hmm. This is looking less and less like the spear. But honestly, don't care. Don't care. Nope. I don't care. Anyway, don't care. Don't care. Terrible. Terrible. I've definitely copied better before. But it is what it is. Hmm. Kind of feel like, I don't know, painting or something. Damn, this hardly looks like paint. I'm sure this is paint. This brush is weird. Hmm. Hmm. This is not the texture I want to go for, nor the color. Really, I mean, it's slightly too bright, so something like this maybe. A bit less saturated. Bit more gray. Maybe that's a bit too much. Oh, okay. Bunch. Oh, it's a lot darker than I thought it is. But I think the saturation is at least correct. Yep, saturation seems to be fine. It's just the value that I'm kind of misjudging, and that happened to me with what was it? That castle painting I did a few days ago or a week ago. Not quite sure anymore. It's an English castle. I can show you later. I also noticed there that I'm misjudging the value, you know? So I usually go for a lighter tone when, as you can see here, it would have been a darker tone. But the rest is pretty much on point. Like, this looks pretty damn good, you know? I think. I would take that. Yeah, it fits. I don't know what you would call this. If there's like a technical term, but yeah, kind of looks nice. Although I do have to say, maybe I won't paint necessarily. It's a bit much. Let's just leave it like this for now. Let me save it. Is it saving? I don't think it was. There it is. Alright. Now, of course, it's looking very weird. This, I mean, like I've consistently misjudged the value, you know, always taking it as a lighter tone when it was in fact, well, a much darker one. So, yeah, that's certainly something I have to teach my eye and my brain to recognize more easily. Aside from that, pretty happy with this. I like these kind of colors. I don't know how to call this, what to call this. So, I did some light sketching. What else do I want to do? I should be doing some head sketches. Can I like hide a reference image? Is that possible? Raise, lower, send to back. What happens if I lower? Send to back? No. Lower. Lower? No, if what I'm clicking here makes any sense. I don't think he is making a whole lot of sense. Ugh, horrible. 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 Hmm. Oh well. I guess I'll just leave it here. Let me go find some reference here because I kind of want to go away from the how to say, from life drawing a bit, where I'm quote using my style to deconstruct things because my style is dog shit. It looks like trash, and the types of like brushes I'm using, it just looks like shit. Honestly, it just looks terrible, terrible, terrible. Ooh, that's a very nice looking picture. Now, I would win. Nice. Face and head. Very interesting. So, I kind of want stylized skulls. Just look nice. Stylized skull. Why is this? Anyway, put it in here. Hmm. 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 Ooh, that's some interesting tower. Okay, but let's not get distracted too much. I have a skull stylized right here. Looking very nice. Very nice, actually. Very nice indeed. Save image. Um. I'm stupid. There we go. Art, drawings, reference, characters, partial skulls. There we go. All right. Wonder. Is this real? Hmm. Damn. Damn. This is looking really nice. Let me save this for landscapes. Perfect. Hmm. Ooh. It's also a very nice landscape. Why am I now finding all of these interesting ways people draw landscapes? Why now? Of all things, why now? Damn. That's some insane hatching. Oh, holy Lord. This is looking very satisfying. Jesus. Damn. Damn. This is insanity. Ah, I'm getting distracted. Sorry. Oh, Lord. Cross hatching is very nice. Should I try that a bit more? Like, I actually, I don't think I have even actively tried any sort of cross-hatching at all. Yeah. I mean, I do the occasional, right, shading, which isn't really what it is because there aren't any lines actually crossing over each other, which kind of, would defeat the purpose of cross-hatching if you aren't hatching across other lines, I would say. Maybe I'm just stupid and I'm misunderstanding this, but if I'm not, well, well. There's so much interesting stuff. Alright. My legs are really starting to kill me now. Let me sit down a bit here. Ouch. Ow. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. What to do. And just get rid of the carpets here for a little bit. Every time I'm ripping off more. Oh well, happens. Let me get the desk down here a bit. I can actually, like, draw. Jesus. What? How did you... What is this cross-hatching? Holy Lord. This has to be like 0.01 millimeter thick fine liners. What? This is insanity. Jesus. What the fuck? That's incredible. That's actually amazing. Damn. Pum. Excuse me. That's some fine and nice way. Let me draw some trees actually. Let's see if I can still do that. That's that's not the color I want to use. And that's not the brush I want to use. Not quite what I want to achieve. I'm not sure if this is actually turning out to become a tree or like a sort of bush or brush, like, you know, wildberry bush. Yes, English. Hmm. 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 That's a bit of a massive branch, I would say. Whoops. Slightly too big. Bit of a massive branch. Hmm. Hmm. I don't really want to outline the whole thing, but sometimes it is whatever. That's just what happens. You know? I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just terrible at drawing. I can kind of make it work. But like, honestly, I just personally haven't looked at enough trees to properly and fully understand where to put the light and the shadow here. Well, I mean, it's not horrible. I wouldn't be able to tell you what kind of tree that is, however, so. Hmm. Hmm. Detestable, but like not great either. Uh, so it's certainly like a not only, but it's certainly a an issue of brush settings. You know, the reason why I can't quite draw as I would like to, if that makes sense. I'm kind of like feeling in like caged in a sense right now, because I would like to draw a bit differently, like, or rather have different. Mm, yeah, different outcome. Uh, that's too broad of a way to put this. I don't know. I don't know. Speech. Stupido. I'm stupido. So what about? Mm, hmm. Hmm. Not quite sure if I'm getting where I want to be with this type of like angled. What would you call this? Hatching? I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. Is this even a tree? Maybe it could be one. Let's just try and put in some trunk here? I don't know. Not quite. Maybe the trunk wouldn't be that large? No. It's not quite working out here. It's kind of funny how this works. Like you zoom in, it looks like dog shit. Zoom out, while it's still looking like dog shit, kind of looks like there might be something here. Kind of. I'd have to be more precise, I suppose, with where I'm putting lines and where I'm not putting any lines. Although this is less and less starting to look like a tree, more like some unknowable form. But, you know, it could be worse, I think. Could be worse. I'm certain. Possibly. Maybe not. Although all the way zoomed out, it does kind of look like a tree. Maybe I should actually try and draw some trees, you know? And try and put in some of the distinguishing features here. Instead of trying to find stylized, like, skulls, you know? I want some real trees. As real as a 2D image can represent it, of course, but real nonetheless. Real. Real. Is there real trees? Trees. In the trees. I want the real tree. Whoops. Wrong window. Maybe tree drawing isn't useful. Maybe just tree. I want a tree. Tree photograph. Tree photography. Open link in new image. What? Open link in new tab. Open image in new tab. Alright, save. Where should we go? Reference, maybe landscapes. Let me just grab this one, put it in here as a new layer. Let's try replicating this a little bit. Zoom in slightly. Why is you... Oh, whoops. Let's just keep it here. Put it under reference, turn on the reference, turn this off. Go here. So. That's a pretty wild tree. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Pretty wild tree. Yeah, okay, no, this is the wrong approach. I'm doing too much. Doing too much here, I think. Hmm. Okay. I might have to look away for a bit from the screen. My eyes are kind of doing funny things. I don't know why exactly that is the case. Hmm. I mean, it's quite fine. Just doing some like eye exercise here. Like I'm not hurting or anything, but it's like it's just weird. Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's see if we can keep going a bit here. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe if I take a different brush. Ah, this is very, very difficult. Maybe playing with the opacity a bit here could help. Hmm. Yes. What am I doing? Hmm. So this I do it through this like this kind of motion, and the other tree by doing something like this, perhaps. Hmm. There another way to do this? Triangles? Nah, that's that's a bit too difficult, I would say. Weird. Not right in the head. Hmm? Wait, why can't I erase this? Okay, there we go. Hmm. Hmm. If I'm properly adjusting like the strength, this way of drawing this tree also kind of like makes it look like the sun is shining through in some specific spots, you know, which is kind of fun to draw, honestly. Although I'm probably wrecking my wrist doing it the way I'm doing it right now. Hmm. Hmm. Although it's not becoming this tree down here, this is a fun way to like draw. Although I'm like getting overwhelmed with tiredness again, so although a bit abrupt, I will. Oh, wait. Right. I put this on a different layer for a reason. So, although it's a bit abrupt, I'll end it here for today. It's not looking terrible, but could be better. Could be a bit more focused. Could use a proper process of like plotting out where the largest forms are beforehand, because otherwise it's like this kind of like guessing game in a sense. Like I need some guidelines, to get the proportions right. And if I don't do that, it's practically a guessing game. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you could learn anything. If nothing but to have fun when you're drawing, because it's a lot. Regardless of what subject you pick that you really like drawing, at some point you just have to, accept that you're terrible and that you will continue drawing despite everything. You know, that's the type of perspective you might want to consider. Or if you're more like an aloof kind of person, you like to joke, all that kind of stuff. Perhaps more like someone like Bob Ross, right? We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. It's an accident that I made this mark, but you know what? We can work with that. This kind of mentality. Anyway, enough philosophically and theorizing about theoretical things of art. Hope you had fun. Yes, I said that before. I'm sorry. Take care of yourselves. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.